Thanks for tuning in. I'm Laura Beth Ezell for HxGN TV, and joining me today I have Michael Dunkwu with the Alexandria Police Department, who will be with us discussing next generation community policing. We appreciate your time with us today, Michael.
Absolutely.
You know, what is modern community policing? Why is it important? And how does it tie in to the data your officers collect every day? Now, Michael has some great perspective to share with us on what the Alexandria, Virginia Police Department is doing to show what a police officer's time is worth, which to me is a lot. So you're going to expand on that more. And first, Michael, just tell us a little bit about the Alexandria Police Department.
So the Alexandria Police has about 320 officers, 120 civilian employees that work with us. We have community policing section. We have all the traditional units that you would expect in a police department.
Okay, so there's this theory of community policing that we got away from as a society, and can you explain why and why that was?
So I think that theory exists because we weren't telling people what we were doing. So police departments have always been doing community policing. Lots of police departments have units that are dedicated just to doing community policing. Even in Alexandria, since I've been there for the last almost 13 years, we've always had a unit of officers who live in the community and focused on community policing. But that piece of data for what they were doing isn't something we would report. We'd tell you how many arrests we made, we'd tell you how many tickets we wrote, but we wouldn't tell you how many positive citizen contacts that we had. Officers didn't have a way to tell you what kind of positive things they were doing in the community. And that would come out if maybe somebody took a picture of it and sent it to the news. But the day-to-day good, kind stuff that the officers do that is important just wasn't something we were giving out.
So Alexandria Police, though, is bringing a next generation community policing model back, and or doing that. Can you explain that concept more of why you're focusing on this?
Absolutely. So we're using the miscellaneous service module in WebRMS. So what the officers do is they're documenting community engagement that they do. So if they go to an event, they go to community barbecue, they're going to document that they went to that, how many citizens they came in contact with, and what they did while they were there. If they have a random contact with a kid that sees a police car and wants us to turn the police lights on, then they'll document that positive contact. So it gives us real numbers to show we're bigger than just our arrests. We're bigger than just our tickets. We are part of the community, and we help the community every chance that we can.
Right, okay. So what does implementing a community police model do for both an agency and the community?
So it can help you connect with your community so that you can have those connections when crimes occur. People are comfortable coming to you to say, hey, this happened at this time, or so-and-so did this crime. The bigger picture of it is if you have that connection with them, you can prevent the crimes because you know people who may be in danger of committing crimes, and you can get them enrolled in programs. You can be a positive influence to them to prevent that before it ever becomes an issue.
So, from a model like this, say it has an impact on the community, and, let's say that crime starts to go down, though. The impact of community policing helps and crime starts to go down. What's an adverse effect of that in the perception of some others?
Well, that's a really good question. And it's something that has happened across the country because crime is going down. Part 1 crime has gone down over the last 10 years at a pretty good rate. And it's a combination of good police work and the resurgence of community policing. But again, that piece of data doesn't exist. So it looks like cops are out there, they're doing a great job. Some communities think, maybe we need less police because crime is low. But the reality of it is you need the police you have now. Sometimes you even need more because crime is low because your officers are engaging with the community. They're out there getting involved. It's a different type of police work.
So let's talk about proving these officers' contribution and how they spend their time, because you've talked about capturing this data and how we've been missing this data piece. So what are some real-world examples of this?
So we have an officer who was driving behind an apartment building and saw a homeless individual setting up camp for the night. He went, checked on him. We have homeless shelters. He offered that, but some homeless individuals don't want to go to a shelter. They like to be where they are. So he asked if he was hungry. He said, yeah, you know, I could eat. So he had an MRI. He's a military veteran. He had an MRI in his car, gave the MRI to the veteran and fed him for the night. Now, he didn't do that because he wanted any recognition, and the only reason why we know about it is because we put this program in place. So he goes back and reports that, and now he gets credit for something that he did just because of the kindness of his heart. He just wanted to do that. But it's an important thing to show the community these officers care.
Right. You're not just leaving them out there. You're not just driving by.
Absolutely.
And things aren't happening. So let's talk about capturing data. You know, how important is capturing the right records and data to support this effort? And can you share any metrics since you've implemented this? And kind of how are you getting them to come back in and put this data in? What are you putting it into?
So they're using the miscellaneous service module in WebRMS. And the way that it's working is they go out, they do foot patrol, and then they make an entry to say, hey, I did foot patrol. The concept that we tried to get to them is quality over quantity. It's not about numbers. It's about the quality of what you do. So anybody could go in and put, I did foot patrol. That's not really helpful. What they're doing is they're going in, they're telling you what floors they walked on. They're telling you any citizens they came in contact with. And that allows me to then go back and audit to see how many citizens did we come in contact with. What floors are we going on to? So if a problem comes up, I can tell you, we've been on that floor and do a little more investigation to see what the issue is. I can also look to see which officers did it, did the foot patrol on that floor, and talk to them to say, okay, what did you see in this area? Where can we make adjustments to combat any complaints that do come in?
Yeah, okay. Where do you see this initiative going in the future?
I see it growing so that we can look at the numbers and see, does crime go down? And when crime goes down, does our community engagement goes up? I see this project helping us have that piece of data to definitively answer, yes, community policing is helping. In areas where we're not engaging enough and we see crime go up, we'll be able to look to see, you know, we need to engage more here and drive our officers to where we need to be. Again, get away from the arrest numbers, the traffic numbers. Those are things that are always going to happen. Those are things we're always going to do. But get into that community engagement to prevent those from becoming an issue at all.
Right, right. And it's really a joint effort between community and police. You need both sides, right?
Absolutely.
And this is helping foster that. Well, any other last thoughts, you know, to other agencies that are considering, you know, doing something like this and starting to capture that data?
I think any agency who is not currently capturing community engagement, I think most agencies are doing community policing. But any of them that aren't capturing community engagement are losing that piece of data that is important to give to the community. It's also important to give to City Council. When you go to justify how many officers you have, what equipment you have, and say, hey, I need more, the crime is going down, well, officers are doing a different type of work. Officers are doing exactly what the community wants. The difference is the metrics of data that you would normally get out of it for arrest and traffic. That's not what the goal is anymore. The goal is to engage with them so that we don't have another Ferguson riot happen. We don't have another Baltimore riot happen. So we can be engaged with them up front.
Okay, Michael, this is great, and it's great to hear. You know, it's great as a you know, just person in the community to know, to see officers, to see them out there, and know that they're engaged.
Thank you.
So a big thank you to you for the information you shared with us today. And for more information on today's topic, you can go to hexagonsafetyinfrastructure.com, and to watch additional episodes, you can go to HxGNspotlight.com. Thanks for tuning in.